Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Visakha, Jaya Radhesa, Lalita Visakha, Jaya Radhesa. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaur Hariva, 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 Hariva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtadhara Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Iskon Founderacharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtadhara Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Sarva Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Gaudi Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौगोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा देवी जमुना देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की, जय श्री तुलसी महारानी की, जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, जय श्री प्रभुपाद ट्रांसजेंडरल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, जय श्री श्री गौरव की, जय श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की, जय श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर ललिता विशाखा देवी की, जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories always to Guru and Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vāsam atho jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu avadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamam sloke bhaktir bhavati naistike mukhaṁ karati vācālaṁ paṅgulam gayate girim yatkripatamaham bande Sri Gurum Dīnataranam Sri Paramananda Madhavam. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 45, text 30 to 34. The name of this chapter is Krishna Rescues His Teacher's Son. So I will read text from 30 to 33 and then 34 we can recite together. Prabhavau sarva-vidyānāṁ sarva-jñau jagad-īśvarau nānya-siddhāmalaṁ jñānam gūhamānau narehitaiḥ atho gurukule vāsam icchantāv upajagmatuḥ kāśyaṁ sāndīpaniṁ nāma avanti-pura-vāsinam. Translation. Concealing their innately perfect knowledge by their human-like activities, those two omniscient lords of the universe, themselves the origin of all branches of knowledge, next desired to reside at the school of a spiritual master. Thus, they approached Sāndīpaniṁ Muni, a native of Kashi, living in the city of Avanti. Text 32. yathopasadyatau dantau gurau vritting aninditam grahayantau upetau sma grahayantau upetau sma bhaktyadevam ivadritau. Sāndīpaniṁ Muni thought very highly of these two self-controlled disciples, whom he had obtained so virtuously. By serving him as devotedly as one would serve the Supreme Lord himself, they showed others an irreproachable example of how to worship the spiritual master. Text 33. Tayor dija varastushta suddha bhavanuvritti provacha vedan akhilan sangopanishado guru. That best of Brahmanas, the spiritual master Sāndīpaniṁ, was satisfied with their submissive behavior, and thus he taught them the entire Vedas, together with their 6 corollaries and the Upanishads. Text 34. Sārasyam dhanurvedam dharmanyaya pathaṁ tatha channivikṣiṁ vidyāṃ rājanītiṁ ca sadvidhāṃ. Sārasyam dhanurvedam dharmanyaya pathaṁ tatha channivikṣiṁ vidyāṃ rājanītiṁ ca sadvidhāṃ. Sārasyam dhanurvedam dharmanyaya pathaṁ tatha channivikṣiṁ vidyāṃ rājanītiṁ ca sadvidhāṃ. Sārasyam dhanurvedam dharmanyaya pathaṁ tatha channivikṣiṁ vidyāṃ rājanītiṁ ca sadvidhāṃ. Sārasyam dhanurvedam dharmanyaya pathaṁ tatha channivikṣiṁ vidyāṃ rājanītiṁ ca sadvidhāṃ. Sārasyam dhanurvedam tatha channivikṣiṁ vidyāṃ rājanītiṁ ca sadvidhāṃ. Mataji. Sārasyam dhanurvedam dharmanyaya pathaṁ vidyāṃ rājanītiṁ ca sadvidhāṃ. Sārahasyam, along with its confidential portion, Dhanu Vedam, the science of military weapons, Dharman, the doctrines of human law, Nyaya, of logic, pathan, the methods, tatha, also, tathacha, and similarly, annivikshim, of philosophical debate, vidyam, the branch of knowledge, rajanitim, political science, cha, and sarva-vidyānāṁ, in 6 aspects. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. He also taught them the Dhanur-veda with its most confidential secrets, the standard books of law, the methods of logical reasoning and philosophical debate, and the 6-fold science of politics. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that the confidential portion of the Dhanur-veda, military science, includes knowledge of the appropriate mantras and presiding deities of warfare. Dharman refers to the Manu Samhita and other standard law books, Dharma Shastras. Nyaya-pathan refers to the doctrine of karma-mimamsa and other such theories. Anvikshikim is knowledge of the techniques of logical argument, tarka. The 6-fold political science is quite pragmatic and includes sandhi, making peace, vigraha, war, yana, marching, asana, sitting tight, dvaitha, dividing one's force, sansaya, seeking the protection of a more powerful ruler. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeyam Sri Guru Sri Tapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangsya Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagana Raghunatha Nitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shagana Lalita Sri Visakha Nitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Nama Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here in these verses, we see that how Krishna Balaram desire to stay in the school of a spiritual master and learn all branches of knowledge. So as we have heard that how Krishna and Balaram, they got initiation into Gayatri Mantra, and after getting Gayatri Mantra initiation and becoming Brahmin, accepting sacred thread, so they desire to go to a school of a spiritual master. And when they thought of accepting a spiritual master, the first thought came to their mind that there is Vyasadeva, who is qualified to become their spiritual master because he is all knowledgeable and he has written all the Vedic literatures. But Krishna Balaram thought Vyasadeva would not be a good choice because Vyasadeva is a Vaishnava. And he knows the identity of Krishna and Balaram. And when Vyasadeva would know the identity of Krishna and Balaram, who are the source of all knowledge, then how he was going to teach them? So Krishna and Balaram thought that we should go to a spiritual master who should not be a Vaishnava, because every Vaishnava would know us that we are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should go to a spiritual master who is a Shaiva, worshipper for Lord Shiva. So then, unhesitatingly, he would teach us the science of Vedic knowledge. So then they thought of Sāndīpaniṁ Muni, who was a Shiva worshipper, Shaivite, and who was from Varanasi. So here the word has been mentioned, kāśyaṁ, who was from Kashi, the previous name of Varanasi, Kashi. And also some acharyas describe this Kāśya as a clan or a vansha, Kāśya vansha. So anyway, so Sāndīpaniṁ Muni was a worshipper of Lord Shiva and he was from Kashi, and he used to also visit Prabhas Kshetra, Lord Somanath, and Avanti, because it was also a place of Lord Shiva, so he decided to stay at Avanti-pura. So there is Mahakal temple in Avanti, the present-day Ujjain. And he had his school there at Avanti. So when Krishna and Balaram decided that they should go to Avanti and approach Sāndīpaniṁ Muni for accepting them as their disciples, so then they thought Avanti is far from Mathura, and if we would go there and stay for few months there, then naturally our opponents, the enemies, and specifically Jarasandha, would come and attack Mathura in our absence. And he would harass the inhabitants of Mathura. That's why they wanted to keep this journey as a great secret. So they only told very few of their intimate family members that they are going to the house of the school of a spiritual master, but this thing should be kept highly secret and no one should know about our journey. And if people would ask that Krishna Balaram, we don't see them anymore, what happened to them? Then you all tell them that they are living in a secluded house in Mathura and they are resting. So this was the message given to the public that Krishna Balaram, they were in Mathura in a secluded house and they were resting. So then they thought if this message is given to public, then the enemies would not think that Mathura is bereft of the protection of Krishna and Balaram, they have gone away, so they would not attack Mathura. And then Krishna and Balaram, in their same brahmachari dress, wearing deer skin, having Brahmin thread and danda also. They were holding danda and some wooden sticks for performing fire sacrifice. So in this dress, brahmachari dress, they started traveling to Avantipur. And on the way, they saw few pilgrims, they were also going to Avanti, because that was the famous place of Lord Shiva. So, whatever they were getting alms on the way, they were giving to the pilgrims on the way. And no one could recognize them that they were the same Krishna Balaram who killed Kamsa and his followers. But from the effulgence of the body, of their bodies, people would think that they were not just ordinary brahmacharis. They were some special brahmacharis, because the effulgence was coming out from their body, and how they were going to hide that effulgence, though they were in brahmachari dress. But somehow or other, they arrived at Avantika, Ujjain, and when they finally reached at the school of Sāndīpaniṁ Muni, So they saw so many boys, the students of Sāndīpaniṁ Muni. They were all sitting in front of Sāndīpaniṁ Muni and reciting the Vedic mantras. So Krishna and Balaram, they went to Sāndīpaniṁ Muni, offered their obeisances and begged Sāndīpaniṁ Muni to accept them as his disciples and teach them. So when Krishna and Balaram approached Sāndīpaniṁ Muni like this, then Sāndīpaniṁ Muni, seeing these two boys who were very, very effulgent, but looking like a Kshatriya, so he asked them that who were they? And because Krishna and Balaram, they wanted to keep things secret. So they said, but they cannot tell lie in front of the spiritual master. So they said that we are from Yadu dynasty, and our father's name is Sri Vasu. They did not say Vasudev. They said Sri Vasu. So we are his children. And then when Sāndīpaniṁ Muni heard this, though they did not reveal everything, but Sāndīpaniṁ Muni could understand that these two boys are very special. But to test them, because this is the duty of the spiritual master, to test the disciple about his sincerity. So Sāndīpaniṁ Muni wanted to test the sincerity of these two boys. So then he said, time is very important for me. And I am sorry to say that I have no time. So, in the meantime, you may do one thing. You may learn from these boys, those who are sitting here, how to beg alms. You may learn the technique from these boys. Because Sāndīpaniṁ Muni thought generally the Kshatriyas, ahankara bala darpa, so they are very proud of their position. So naturally, if there will be ahankara, then pride, one would not be very submissive to a spiritual master. To become submissive to a spiritual master, one should be very humble. Then only one would receive the knowledge from the spiritual master. So, Sāndīpaniṁ Muni wanted to test their sincerity and how humble they were as Kshatriya boys. So he first thing told them that you learn the technique of begging. So Krishna and Balaram, they are very happy to get this instruction from Sāndīpaniṁ Muni. And they wanted to teach the whole world how to approach a spiritual master. Because Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita, yad yad acharati shrestha tattat evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanvartate. So, whatever a great personality will do, others will follow him. naturally. So they were setting the example as ideal disciples. That's why, so when they were ordered by the spiritual master like this, they immediately agreed to go and beg from the nearby villages. So they took these other brahmacharis who were in Sāndīpaniṁ Muni's ashrams, and they went to beg. But when they went to beg, then they would see in the houses many young ladies, and they would address them as mothers. And the young ladies, they would also see Krishna and Balaram as their sons. So Krishna and Balaram, while begging, how a brahmachari should beg from others, how to deal with ladies, they are also setting the example. Matruvat paradaresu, paradrabhyasu lostravat. So we have to see the other ladies as our mothers. This is the Vedic teaching. So Krishna and Balaram did the same thing to teach the whole world. And when people, householders would see these young, beautiful, effulgent boys, they would always give more alms to them. And they would collect so much alms from begging that ashram, it would be difficult for them to carry all those stuffs. So much food stuff they would get. So the other boys would only carry, they would not beg. This Krishna and Balaram would beg, and other boys would carry the foodstuffs, whatever they got from the begging. And they would bring everything to Sāndīpaniṁ Muni. So when Sāndīpaniṁ Muni saw this, that they were not reluctant to beg, so that means Sāndīpaniṁ Muni thought they passed the first test. So Sāndīpaniṁ Muni was very happy with them. And then, understanding their superior nature, Sāndīpaniṁ Muni accepted them as his disciples, but he would not give them any service to do. Generally, to serve the spiritual master, but Sāndīpaniṁ Muni would not directly give them any service. But Krishna and Balaram, even without being asked by Sāndīpaniṁ Muni, they would do menial services for the spiritual master. One day, Sāndīpaniṁ Muni's wife asked Sāndīpaniṁ Muni that among your disciples, whom do you think is the best disciple? Then Sāndīpaniṁ Muni told his wife, I think these two boys, Krishna and Balaram, they are the best disciples. So then Sāndīpaniṁ Muni's wife told Sāndīpaniṁ Muni that how is it, I have never seen them serving you. So how they are best disciples? and you have also never told them to serve you. So then Sāndīpaniṁ Muni told his wife that even if I don't tell them, don't give them any service, but still they would serve. They would do the service without being asked. Without my knowledge, they would do the service. And they would do the all menial services, even brooming the ashram area, brooming the pathsala where the school was. So Krishna and Balaram, they were doing all these services. And we all know that one time Sāndīpaniṁ Muni's wife asked for some wood from the forest because the rain was coming, so she asked the students to bring some wood from the forest. She did not specifically ask Krishna and Balaram to go to the forest and bring wood. She asked the boys generally to go and get some wood because the rain was coming. And it was in the afternoon when Sāndīpaniṁ Muni's wife asked this. But the boys were reluctant to go to the forest in the afternoon because they were thinking that now rain is coming and we will go to the forest in the afternoon, then it will be evening, dark. So how we would come back from the forest? So they were all reluctant to go. And when Krishna and Balaram saw this, that the other boys were reluctant to go to the forest to get some wood, because Guru Mata was asking. So Krishna and Balaram, without asking other boys, they started going to the forest to get some wood and follow the order of the spiritual master's wife. And when other boys saw this, that Krishna and Balaram were going to fetch some wood, then they also followed Krishna and Balaram. And this all happened without the knowledge of Sāndīpaniṁ Muni. And they went to the forest. Krishna and Balaram got some dry wood by the evening, and when they were thinking to come back to ashram, then rain came, heavy rain and storm. And then everywhere there was water, and then they could not find the path. All those boys stayed in the jungle. And the entire night Sāndīpaniṁ Muni was very angry on his wife, that why did he send these boys to the forest in the evening. So he was very angry on his wife, and next morning, without even taking bath, Sāndīpaniṁ Muni rushed to the forest to get Krishna, Balaram and other boys from the forest. So anyway, that story is different. So here we see that now Krishna and Balaram, they have approached Sāndīpaniṁ Muni, and they wanted to learn the science of Vedas. So here it has been stated, prabhavau sarva-vidyānāṁ, sarva-jñau jagad-īśvarau. So though Lord Krishna and Balaram, they are jagad-īśvarau, the lords of the universe, and prabhavau sarva-vidyānāṁ, the source of all knowledge, and sarva-jñau, and all knowledgeable. So, nānya-siddhāmalaṁ, and they have not acquired this knowledge from anyone else. That means they were the source of all this knowledge. Jñānam gūhamānau narehitaiḥ. And because they were acting like ordinary human beings, that's why this knowledge they had was covered. So people would not understand that they were the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they were playing the part of human beings. Atho gurukule vāsam icchantāv upajagmatuḥ kāśyaṁ sāndīpaniṁ nāma avanti-pura-vāsinam. So when they wanted to go to the school of a spiritual master, and why did they wanted to go, though they were the source of all knowledge? Just to teach the whole world that one has to go to a spiritual master to get this transcendental knowledge. And they were, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they were setting the example for the people of this material world. That's why they desired to go to the school of a spiritual master. Otherwise, it was not necessary for them to go to a school of spiritual master and get some knowledge, because they were the source of all knowledge. So they were teaching by example that how everyone should go to the house of a school of a spiritual master and get knowledge from the spiritual master by serving him, by surrendering at the lotus feet of a spiritual master. So they decided to go to the school of Sāndīpaniṁ, who was living at Avanti-pura. Yathopasadyato danto guru vrittiṁ anindita grahayanta upetosma bhaktadeva nivadrita. And these two boys, they were self-controlled. So they were, as brahmacharis, how brahmacharis should be self-controlled, means controlling the senses and mind. This is the business of brahmacharis. And Krishna and Balaram, they were acting as brahmacharis and also setting the example of self-controlled brahmacharis. And they were also serving the spiritual master like serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Deva eva adruta bhakti. So they were with devotion, great devotion and surrender. They were serving Sāndīpaniṁ as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this way they were setting the example for others how to serve the spiritual master. A disciple must be very surrendered at the lotus feet of the spiritual master without any reservation, and serve the spiritual master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna and Balaram were setting the example for other brahmacharis. Sa rahasyam dhanurve, tayo dijavara tushta siddha bhavanuvritti. And Sāndīpaniṁ, he was very much satisfied seeing their submissive behavior, and thus prabhavau deva vedan akhilan sangopanisado guru. And because Sāndīpaniṁ was very much satisfied with these two disciples, so he taught them the Vedas and Vedangas, the corollaries, 6 corollaries of the Vedas, which are called Siksha, Chanda, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Jyotisha and Kalpa. These are 6 corollaries of the Vedas. And also Upanishads. So he taught them everything. Sa rahasyam dhanurvedam dharman naya pathangstatha tatha chanvikshing vidyang rajaniti cha sarva-vidyānāṁ. So, Sāndīpaniṁ also taught them Dhanurveda. So this Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, they are all coming from the Vedas. Ayurveda is coming from Rig Veda. And Dhanurveda is coming from Yajurveda. So Sāndīpaniṁ taught them the confidential secrets of Dhanurveda. So Dhanurveda is related to warfare, and what are the confidential secrets? That means while throwing the arrow, the warrior is to chant some mantras. Because the arrows are empowered by mantras and mantra devatas. Means the demigod of the mantra. So the warrior must know not only shooting the arrows, the way of shooting the arrows, but even he must know the chanting of the particular mantra while shooting the arrow and invoke the gods of that particular arrow. So these are the secrets of Dhanurveda. So Sāndīpaniṁ taught this to Krishna and Balaram. Because that's why we see that many times the warriors would just chant the mantras and the arrow would appear in their hand. And then they shoot the arrow and kill the enemy. So this is mantra power is there in warfare of Dhanurveda. And then they learn standard books of law, the methods of logical reasoning, philosophical debate, and 6-fold science of politics. And 6-fold science of politics is Sandhi, Vigraha. Sandhi means making peace with the enemy. Vigraha means if the enemy is not carved, then one can declare war, Vigraha. Then Yana, marching for war. Asana, sitting tight, waiting for the army to attack. The Dvaita, dividing one's forces to attack the enemy from all sides. And then Sansaya, seeking the protection of a powerful ruler. If one is not powerful enough to fight with the enemy, then one may seek another powerful ruler's support. So these are 6 ways of political diplomacy. So Sāndīpaniṁ taught all these things to Krishna and Balaram, though they knew everything from the very beginning. But they were just acting like surrendered disciple and teaching the whole world how to approach a spiritual master and learn from him. So in this way, Krishna and Balaram, they learned everything in the school of Sāndīpaniṁ. And then the next verse will speak about the 64 arts, and then they will give Guru Dakshina and other things. So we'll stop here. Hare Krishna. So any comments? Or questions? Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much for nice explanation. Maharaj, just one query that in any school we see there are various departments are there. So when Krishna Balram went to Sāndīpaniṁ school, the narration which you narrated now, that Sāndīpaniṁ was teaching everything.
Everything, yeah.
Whether some other teachers were there to teach various other arts.
This is the modern system, having other teachers. That time one teacher would teach everything.
So all-rounder.
Yeah?
The teacher was so all-rounder.
All-rounder teacher. That's why the disciples are very, very surrendered to him. He was all-rounder. They don't have to approach different spiritual masters for learning different things. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, just another quick query. That you mentioned in the class also, described in Bhagavatam, that when Krishna Balram went to Sāndīpaniṁ, first Sāndīpaniṁ tested them. So they were sent out to beg alms. So can you relate this to our present day ashram in our ISKCON setup? When the devotees join in the ashram, they are also sent out.
Yes, Prabhupada did that. Sent all the devotees to make life members, collect donations for the temple, for the ashram. So we are all begging also, following the Vedic system, and Prabhupada did that. Prabhupada sent all the brahmacharis for book distribution, collecting funds for the temple. So we are doing from the very beginning. Nowadays, a new culture has started. Just to study and give class. So this is new culture. In Prabhupada's, all the temples, anyone joined, first thing they have to do some menial service in the temple, then they go out for book distribution, collect funds for the temple. And in that way, actually, one will be free from false ego. Because when you go out, sometimes people will respect you, some people will scold you, even come for beating you. So in both cases, when we say in Bhagavad Gita, dukkhesu anudvignamana sukhesu vigataspura vitaraga bhaya krodha stitadhi muniruchyate. So how we become stitadhi? Even while we are in trouble, we don't feel morose. When we are in a happy mood, we don't feel happy. In both circumstances, we have to maintain balance. So how you do that? When you go to outside for begging, people will scold you. That time you will be morose, and then next person will come and touch your feet. So that time you cannot become happy because you know the next person may come and beat you. So in both cases you have to be balanced. And that is the practical experience of this verse. When you go out, then you will be balanced in both cases, happiness and distress. Otherwise, just by studying, jnana will be there, no vidyānām. And we are supposed to get vidyānām, realized knowledge. We don't want only jnana. Hare Krishna. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaurav Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.